Hello viewers, Assalamu alaikum. Hoping you are keeping fine. I am also fine. Welcome to this new session. Uh, our today's topic is visiting a floating market by Mita Zara Zuma Islam and Majharul Islam. In our previous lesson, we learned that they reached Bangkok the night before, and in the meantime they have planned how to pay a visit to the Thaka floating market. Let's see what's our passage today. So this is myself, Abdul Matin, assistant teacher English, Cantonment Public School and College, Saidpur, Nilphamari. English for today, class 8, Unit 6, Lesson 9, title, The Thaka Floating Market. Before starting the lesson, I would like to introduce you the keywords of the passage. If you know the keywords of the passage or meaning of the keywords of the passage, then you can be able to understand the passage very well and clearly. So let's start. What are the keywords of the passage here? First one, surrounded. That means nearby, adjoining. Second one, laden, burdened, loaded. Third one, delicious, tasty, appetizing. Pick, option, preference. And then chit chat, small talk, prattling. And next one, traditional, conventional, customary. It is the most important word of the passage. Tourist, visitor, traveler. Originally, initially, at first. Phase, stage, episode. Natives, dwellers, and locals. These are the important words of the passage. So these words will help you to understand the passage very well, and this passage will help you to solve the MCQ questions very well. And now we go to the passage. This is the passage. Read the text and answer the following questions. And the passage has two paras. First para. It was Sunday. Mita, Zara, Juma Islam, and Majharul Islam woke up very early. They quickly got ready and started for the Thaka floating market. That is the day mentioned here, the Sunday. And the four persons, Mita, Zara, Zuma Islam, and Majharul Islam, woke up very early. And they started for floating market very early. They planned to have breakfast at the market. They reached the market place sharp at 7. The canals were surrounded with coconut palm trees. They hired a boat. The boatman started to row slowly, taking them to the center of the market. So they reached the marketplace just at 7 a.m. because they wanted to take their breakfast at the market. And the canals obviously surrounded with coconut palm trees. It is famous for that reason. And they hired a boat. The boat was also being moved very slowly. And next para. There were boats everywhere. The sailors were mainly elderly Thai women. Their small boats were laden with bundles of lotus flowers, farm fresh coconuts, fruits, vegetables, local food, and delicious sweets. That means everywhere there was a scenario of boats, because it is a scenario of a lake, of a river, that is Thaka river. The sellers mainly there are the natives, especially elderly Thai women, and the small boats, especially burdened with or laden with flowers, coconuts, fruits, vegetables, local food and delicious sweets also. And because of their load, the boatmen were moving their boats very slowly. The sellers displayed their goods for sale. That means here the two sentences left of the passage. The sellers displayed their goods for sale and the buyers chose their pick. They could have a little chit chat as buying and selling was going on. That means here what is the atmosphere of a local market is seen here. That is a chit chat, selling and going, selling and buying sounds, and sellers and buyers were in prattling things. That's why these are the things of the local market, every local market. So this is the scenario of the Thaka floating market. You have understood, you know. Uh, so from this kind of scene passage, we practice sometimes TOEFL, sometimes MCQ, sometimes question answer, open-ended question. And first, we will practice about some open-ended questions. Let's see. Here is a slide for you for 5 questions. This is called open-ended questions. Uh, Dear viewers, you know very well that this kind of to answer this kind of questions, you must have must follow 2 things. First one, grammatically correction. Second one, the information. If you see the question is present tense, the answer must be in present tense. If you see the question is past tense, that answer should be automatically like there in that tense. So what is the first question here? What kind of market was it? Uh, what kind of market was it? You know already. It was a floating market, or it was a floating local market. Why did the boatman row slowly? The boatman rowed slowly because of the load of many things like flowers, fruits, coconuts, local foods, sweets, etc., etc. You have read already the passage in the passage. And then who were selling goods? How were they selling their goods? You know, the local people were selling goods, mainly the local people, especially the Thai women were selling goods. And how were they selling their goods? Like a scenario of other local markets. They were selling goods with little talks, chit chats, and like an atmosphere of a local market. In this way, they were selling their goods. You know, what were they selling? They were selling many things. For example, they were selling flowers. You know, it is mentioned in the passage, coconut palm trees, flowers, fruits, local foods, etc., etc., and vegetables also. These things were sold in the market by the local people. What was the atmosphere at the market? You know already, I have discussed several times. What is the environment? What is the atmosphere? What is the condition of the market? What is the situation of the market? You know, is the situation like a local market, like another local markets? You know, so the atmosphere was the scenario of a chit chat and the scenario of a little talk, prattling, etc., etc. These are the question answer. So I think you have understood what type of questions are this one and how you will answer these question answers from yourself. Okay. Then next, what's for you? It is another passage. It is the second part of this lesson, second part. Read more about the Dhaka floating market and Mita's experience. Let's see. The Dhaka floating market is more traditional with a few tourists visiting than any other floating markets. Originally, the Dhaka floating market used to sit only 6 or 7 days a month, depending on the phase of the moon. That is, you have understood. It is very easy. It is a very popular market among other floating markets of Bangkok. That is, in Bangkok, there is a tradition of floating market. Among them, the Thaka is the best, is the most popular and more traditional than other floating markets. And it sits, especially this market sits 7 days, 6 or 7 days per month. And it depends on the condition of the moon, you know. Then nowadays, the trade takes place on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays too. The main buyers here are the Thaka natives. People seem to know each other very well. Everyone was seen smiling and calling each other by name. The locals didn't notice Mita and the others very much. They were all busy buying and selling. So what is mentioned here? Uh, only 3 days per week. This market, this trade sits 3 days per week. What are the days? You know, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And main buyers here are the Thaka natives. And every people knew one another because they are local, because they are natives there. And especially who were the outcomers there? Mita, Zara, Zuma Islam, and Mazharul Islam. Dear students, now we will practice some true false with the light of this passage. This is an important passage, you know, and here are you see in this slide there are 5 true false options. If you practice this true or false practice, and then you can be able to understand to practice the unseen passage, which will be set from another part in English in your textbook. So let's start. What are the true falses here? First one, the Thaka floating market is a tourist place. It is obviously false because it is a local market. It is a floating market and it is also a local market. And the second one, it sits only 6 or 7 days a month. That means it is true. It is mentioned there here that every month it sits 6 or 7 days. And third one, the buyers and sellers are the local people living near the Thaka River. Exactly. They are the local, they are natives, and main buyers and main sellers are local people of Thaka River near. So it is true. Next one, they all knew each other. It is also true. Because they are local, they are native, that's why they know each other very well. And the last one, the passage is about an international market. It is obviously false because it is not an international market. It is a local market. Just it is a floating market of an area, of a community. Okay. Dear viewers, dear students, if you practice these types of questions from English first paper, then you can be able to answer this kind of from second paper from unseen passage, because there will be an unseen passage in your question. Then from there you have to answer this true false question answer. Okay. Next, what is for you? Let's see. It is fill in the blanks. So this kind of to answer this kind of questions, you have to think two things. First one, the information from the passage, information with the light of the passage, and second one, grammatical perfection. So the passage, how it has been started. Let's see. The Dhaka floating market is a dash market which sits only 6 or 7 days a month. So what kind of market? Floating market, this one. This is a traditional market or popular market, you know. It dash on the face of the moon. That is, it depends on the face of the moon. It depends on the condition of the moon. Then second answer will be depends. Here s will be added because the subjective third person singular number here. That's why with this verb depend, s will be added. At present, the trade takes place 3 days per dash, 3 days per week. That means the market takes place 3 days per week. What are the 3 days? Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the answer will be C, per week. The Thaka natives are the dash buyers there. The Thaka natives are the local buyers there, or main buyers there, or staple buyers there. That means it is near the Thaka river, so Thaka natives will be the main buyers there. It's very usual, you know. They address each other by dash. So what will be here? The address each other by calling names or by names. What are the reason behind it? Because they know each other very well. And among them, only Mita, Zara, Zuma Islam, and Mazhar Islam are the tourists or outsiders there. So, dear viewers, I think you have understood the passage very well, and you have a clear idea about two of the passages. And here we have practiced 4 types of question. First one, open-ended question, and then true false, and then fill in the blanks. And another one question will be set, that is MCQ with the light of this passage. And before starting the lesson, you know, I have started with the keywords of the passage, because if you know the keywords of the passage with the meaning, then you can easily understand what is the content of the passage. So, dear students, you will practice these types of questions, answer, fill in the blanks, MCQ, true, false, more and more, all of these items, more and more, if you want to cut a good figure in the examination. Thanks to view my class, and see you next with another new passage. Thank you. Goodbye.